The new Pokémon Scarlet and Violet DLC trailer finally reveals what's beneath Ogerpon's mask, and you won't believe it.
Hi.
Here's everything revealed in the new Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC trailer, including details you may have missed about the new Terastal transformations, cross-regional evolutions, and of course, the brand new Paradox Pokemon that absolutely no one saw coming. So let's begin with Part 1, the Teal Mask, which finally has an official release date of September 13th, 2023, just a little over a month away, and I cannot wait. As you probably know by now, the Teal Mask DLC will take us to a new Japan-inspired land known as Kitakami. We venture here as part of a joint school trip between the Academy from either Pokémon Scarlet or Violet and the prestigious Blueberry Academy that we'll be visiting in the second DLC. Our chaperone on this trip is a new character named Briar. She's a teacher from Blueberry Academy that has some very interesting tastes in fashion. Her purple blazer, for one, includes designs reminiscent of the Scarlet and Violet logos, with hints of both Koraidon and Miraidon. But the first thing you probably noticed are those big ol' Terra Crystal-shaped earrings that make me wonder what her true motives might be. It's way too early to call her out as another twist villain, but those striking red eyes definitely make me suspicious of this Briar character. This trailer reveals more of the story that'll unfold in Kitakami, where it looks like our goal will be to visit various signboards across the land and learn the folk tale of Ogerpon and the three heroes. Joining us on this adventure is Kieran, who despite being described as quite shy, seems to quickly become friends with us. At least in the beginning, as later in the trailer we see that he seems to have a bit of a jealous side. This line is most likely referring to his sister Carmine, who we also learned about in the previous trailer and is seen here hanging out with our character in the background. Could be due to his jealousy, but it seems Kieran challenges us to a battle at some point, maybe trying to prove he's a better friend to us than his sister or something, but he sends out our first newly revealed Pokemon for this trailer, Dipplin. Despite appearing very similar to Applin, this candy-coated form is actually a new evolution of it that sadly remains a grass and dragon type, but something unique about this evolution is that apparently the head and tail we see here belong to two different creatures sharing one candy apple. This feels like such a specific detail to mention that I wouldn't be surprised if it's hinting at another evolution coming for this little dripster. Its signature move, Syrup Bomb, is a grass-type special move that covers the opponent in syrup and causes their speed stat to drop by one stage each turn for the next 3 turns. Finally, we have a new ability called Super Sweet Syrup, which is kinda like Intimidate, but lowers the opponent's evasiveness instead of attack. Next, we get a spotlight on the 3 heroes of Kitakami using 3 attacks that appear to hint at their secondary typings. I loaded up Pokemon Violet to compare, and it looks like Pheasantipity is using Moonblast here. Munkidori is definitely using the move Psychic, and Okidogi appears to be using Giga Impact. Shout out to this Twitter user for helping me identify it, cause I thought it was a new signature move at first, but that's definitely Giga Impact, which makes my previous prediction for their typings a bit off since Giga Impact is a normal type move, not fighting, but I suppose Okidogi is at least still punching in the animation, so let me know if you agree or what types you think they might be. Moving on to Ogerpon, we finally get to see it terastalize, and the Pokemon site confirms this transformation seems to differ from other Terra Pokemon. I mean, for one, the mask becomes absolutely huge and has vines growing from behind it like we saw in an earlier teaser artwork, but we later get another angle of it slamming these vines down while not terastalized, so to me this all but confirms Ogerpon will be at least half grass type. The fact we're using Clefairy though makes me wonder how strong Ogerpon could be. I mean, it can't be that tough if Clefairy can handle it, right? One last thing to note here is the trailer heavily implies a connection between Kieran and Ogerpon, almost like he'll command it in battle or become its trainer. They're both quite shy, so it definitely seems like a good fit. During our trip to Kitakami, the Festival of Masks is well underway, and besides for the colorful food stalls and masks, there are a few fun events we can participate in, like Ogre Oustin. In it, we ride around our legendary steed and pop balloons to collect berries. As a reward, you get a new type of item called Mochi, which are delicious in real life by the way. But in the Pokemon world, these Mochi can raise Pokemon's EVs just like feathers and vitamins, but what sets them apart is this super special awesome fresh Start Mochi, which completely resets your Pokemon's EVs, much like the coveted reset bag from Pokemon X and Y. Another event involves helping out every Pokefan's new crush, Perrin, a traveling photographer who's clearly a descendant of Atamon from Pokemon Legends. Perhaps this means we'll see a descendant of Irida in Part 2? Either way, in this Pokemon Snap inspired minigame, we take photos of specific Pokemon Perrin asks for, but it seems she's looking for a very certain Pokemon. Could it be Ogerpon? Looks like the Rotom camera is getting some upgrades as well, as we can now use a selfie stick to take wider shots and try out some new poses that surely won't piss off your local gang members. You can also get your Pokemon to sit still while taking the photo, which is an absolute game changer for me personally, as making YouTube thumbnails, I would always have to wait around and just pray for my Pokemon to look the right way. So needless to say, this is my favorite new feature added. Finally, there's this random scene that I'm not sure belongs to part 1 or 2 of the DLC, but that's definitely Giacomo from Team Star, right? This seems to confirm that the story of our favorite ragtag bunch of misfits ain't over yet, but man, why'd they have to do my boy dirty and make him wear the school uniform? Moving on to part 2, the Indigo Disc, which will of course have us journey to Blueberry Academy. The school's entrance seems pretty bare, just a big arena and a desk from which I assume we can teleport to all the other areas, kinda like the terminals back at our home school. One of these areas is of course the giant man-made underwater zoo known as the Terrarium, which is divided into 4 biomes: the Savannah, Coastal, Canyon, and Polar biomes. As I suspected in my previous breakdown, it looks like the 4 trainers getting hyped up as the 4 bosses of this academy will in fact be in command of each of these 4 areas, and the Presents even literally calls them the Elite 4 of the Blueberry League, or BBL for short. First up, we have Crispin cooking up some unique battling flair, and he'll likely use fire types, not just because he's a chef, but because we also see Magmortar immediately after. And back in their introduction slide, his background was red, and he uses quick balls just like my favorite fire type user from Paldea. Lacey has these mysterious crystals in her hair that has led some people to speculate a connection with Clay from Pokemon Black and White, but that doesn't mean she'll use ground types, as her background is pink, which typically represents Fairy, another type that wasn't part of the Paldean Gym Challenge. The girl with the glasses is named Amaris, and her motif is kinda giving me Steel type vibes, along with the site describing her as having an ironclad exterior. This matches with her background being gray and being yet another type that wasn't in the Gym Challenge. Finally, we have Drayton, whose name sounds a whole lot like Drayden. They even have similar poses in their official art, and you can see this twin dragon design on his skirt that reminds me of another set of twin dragons. And speaking of dragons, this man has a new evolution that transforms into the freaking Sky Arrow Bridge from Unova. Yeah, we're getting Black and White remakes soon. But more importantly, this is
His partner, Archaludon, is a new Pokemon that evolves from Duraludon.
Thank you. But you heard her right. This is a new evolution of Duraludon, meaning it's likely going to be a pseudo-legendary considering Duraludon's already high stats. And I'm really excited for the OG Duraludon since it now gets to use Eviolite and absolutely wreak havoc upon competitive battling. It'll remain Steel and Dragon type, but gain the abilities Stamina and Sturdy, as well as a new signature move called Electro Shot. This electric type special move takes 2 turns to fully activate, raising your special attack on the first turn as it charges up, then inflicting damage on the second. If used during the rain though, it'll skip the charging turn entirely, but I'm not sure if that means you still get the special attack boost or not. Back to the BBL, I mentioned the Elite 4 each command a different area of the terrarium, but before battling you must first complete their Elite Trial. We get a glimpse of Amaris Trial, which is called the Flying Time Trial, and according to the Pokemon site, your Koraidon or Miraidon can take a supplement that grants it the power to fly. Sure would have been nice to have this during the main story, but here in the Flying Time Trial, we use it to go through these rings held together by Magnemite, which is oddly cute. While this flying power appears limited to the trial, both the Pokemon site and the voiceover during the presentation hint that
perhaps this latent power will be fully unlocked someday.
Another area of the Blueberry Academy we'll get to visit is the League Club Room. Here we can donate Blueberry points, or BP for short. Get it? Because it's like the battle points from the Battle Frontier, but it's not the Battle Frontier. We're never gonna get it back. To be fair, this is also what they called the currency in like the Battle Tower, Battle Tree, Battle Maison. And here at Blueberry, we can donate these points to the clubs in exchange for gifts. For example, if you donate to the Art Club, you'll be able to redecorate the League Club Room. And I got really excited when I first saw this because it totally reminded me of the secret bases from Hoenn, which I absolutely loved, but it's not really clear how much we get to customize. They could just be pre-decorated templates you choose from. We'll just have to wait and find out. But through the League Club Room, we'll also be able to choose custom Pokeball throwing animations. Not sure if these were in past games too. I kind of vaguely remember it in Sun and Moon, but finally, we can invite gym leaders as special instructors to chit-chat and even battle in rematches. And we see Kofu here leading off with Crabrawler, which is usually his Terra Pokemon, so I'm not sure exactly how challenging these battles will be. Our last scene at Blueberry Academy shows our character facing off against a mysterious trainer wearing a BB League logo, but doesn't look like any of the Elite Four. This yellow buckle makes it pretty clear though that it's gotta be one of the siblings Kieran or Carmine, who were featured dead center in the second DLC's promo art, so it's looking like one of them will act as the sort of champion of Blueberry Academy. And I'm definitely leaning towards Kieran based off the character model, but it'd be pretty cool if the champion was different depending on which version you're playing. That wraps up our adventures in Kitakami and Blueberry, but this trailer ain't over yet, as it seems we will be returning to Paldea after all to uncover the hidden treasure of Area Zero. What could it be? Maybe one of these insane new Paradox Pokemon? First is the ancient form of Raikou, officially known as Raging Bolt. Its typing hasn't been confirmed, but based off Walking Wake being water and dragon, it's a pretty safe bet to assume Electric Dragon for this long-necked boy. Looks kinda familiar though, doesn't it? Bulby Boy better be getting some royalties. Its counterpart will be a future Paradox inspired by Cobalion, officially known as Iron Crown. And though its artwork leaves a lot to be desired, it does look a lot cooler in-game, whipping its hair back and forth with that signature robot glow. If we follow the same logic as the past Paradoxes for Cobalion's typing, then I'd probably say it's Steel and Psychic, but there's already a lot of Pokemon with this combination, so perhaps Iron Crown will bring something more original to the table. This reveal does leave us with one more very important mystery though. What exactly were the two imagined legendary Pokemon from the Scarlet and Violet books? They're clearly inspired by the two missing legendaries from these trios, so could we still be waiting for past and future forms of Entei and Terrakion? Last but not least, we have Terrapagos, first appearing in its baby form and confirming that these are in fact alternate forms of the same Pokemon, normal form and terrestrial form Terrapagos. I know it's just the name, but this kind of makes me think it literally will be a normal type, but I have no idea about the terrestrial form. Clearly from its shell, it seems like it uses every type at once, so let me know what type you think it might be in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this trailer breakdown, and don't forget to hit that like button if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe for more Pokemon videos. Part 1 of the DLC is coming way sooner than I think most of us expected, and honestly, I'm really happy because I've mentioned before that I have big plans coming up later in the year that I cannot wait to share with you guys, so stay tuned and I'll catch you in the next one.